seconds remaining.
What is up? NYJohn here. I'll be casting this match of G1 League. We have Flash Esports versus E-Club MUFC, and it's going to be an interesting match for sure. This is from earlier today, November 5th. This is actually the first day I'm getting my power back after the Hurricane Sandy on the East Coast. And we'll get right back into it and watch some Dota. So Flash, a team I don't know much about. Some of the players do look familiar, but I haven't really seen them play recently. And MUFC, a lot of familiar faces, a team that has a lot of potential but really hasn't been able to step up and make the most of it in Dota 2 quite yet. So definitely a good battle to see who can assert themselves and make their way perhaps into a more prominent position in the G1 League. We already see some bans have come out for Flash. They took out both Batrider and Nagasiren, while E-Club took out Nature's Prophet along with Darks here. And now the first pick is in the hands of MUFC. We'll see what they want to select here. With Batrider out as well as Nagasiren, it could be Tide's an option here if they wanted to go that route. They could also go for something along the lines of Rubik. Some typical picks. We'll see what they want to go for with this first pick. This should really define where they want to go with the full lineup of the team. Of course, Ken, Sharky, two of the more familiar faces, even Net. They've been around for a long time. And Net is doing the drafting for them, it looks like, right now in this game. I want to thank you for joining me. I'm NYJohn, of course. And if you're watching this, this is going to be a straight to VOD, so it's on my YouTube channel. Like I said before, this is a G1 League match that happened earlier this day. And I'm likely going to do a lot of these replay casts and put them up just to get more content going on my YouTube channel. And so more people have a chance to see me if they'd like to. And Rubik is the first pick coming out from MUFC. Not too unusual. That's pretty much what I expected. I said Rubik or Tide maybe. And now Queen of Pain is the response first from Flash. Queen of Pain, of course, very versatile hero. She's become increasingly prominent in the first three picks due to the new format, since there is an extra opening to try and ban her out. And her viability as that middle lane hero is very strong. And now Flash with their second pick, taking a little bit more time on this one. Queen of Pain was picked up in a heartbeat. They want to make sure they get the second one right as well. And all the junglers are available, minus Nature's Prophet, and the rare occasion that someone runs them in the jungle. So if they wanted to go for a Chen or an Enchantress here, would not be a bad option. Enigma as well. All would be pretty solid choices. Of course, that would give MUFC the option to go for a jungler of their own. Try and combat those two. So perhaps they'd be a little bit more better off taking one of the strong supports. Instead, they go for Bounty Hunter. And Bounty Hunter is a hero that gained a lot from 6.75 and continues to look strong at 6.76 and moving forward with the increased, I want to say, increased viability of going for kill squads. Of course, Bounty Hunter with his track gold makes it that much greater, a yield for every kill you're able to close in on. And of course, his ability to help finish those kills, as well as overall track, since a couple patches back, has been very beneficial to the whole teamfight environment. Able to really maneuver around those big teams that are 5v5 oriented and try and get some pickoffs instead of just focusing in and zerging 5v5. And Enigma's going to be the pick by MUFC. They put that with their Rubik. They also take up a Shadow Shaman. So Shadow Shaman likely to be a support. Enigma likely to be in the jungle. This could mean we have a Rubik solo here. That is going to be one of the options they have. If Enigma's in the long lane, then Rubik and Shadow Shaman can both be supports. But right now, I'd wager that Rubik is going to be up against the Queen of Pain in the middle lane as it stands. Bounty Hunter probably going to go long lane for Flash. And then we'll see what else they're going to build upon with this final pick before the break. Now, this is an interesting spot that jungle heroes haven't really lost too much power. So if you picked up a jungle hero here now, with the 3 bans coming up, you'd be able to, of course, usually if your opponent did have jungle heroes, take them out. But since Enigma is available for MUFC, they won't be able to do that. And instead, they can pick up a jungle hero to try and combat theirs. Instead, they're going to go ahead and pick up an Animage. Versatile carry, of course. Animage, not much has to be said about him because he is so powerful and has been so for a long time now. And a great hero to fall back on. He also has a lot of strength in the early game teamfights if you're able to maneuver properly. Some players are able to do so much more efficiently than other players, and the ban is going to be on Twin-Headed Dragon. A little bit surprised we didn't see him come out in the first stage of banning, but it looked like Flash went for all farm-oriented heroes. Queen of Pain, Bounty Hunter, and Anti-Mage. So they're going to have to pick up a couple supports here, and it looks like that's going to make an opening for MUFC to ban out whatever supports they want. Chaos Knight is banned out by Flash. Not a bad option. You don't want to be comboed upon with all the stun coming out from that lineup. And then they take out Shen. So this is going to be the jungler advantage that they want to take out Enchantress as well for MUFC. And now Flash with their 4th ban. What do they want to get rid of here? Taking out Chaos Knight. I'm surprised they're not targeting more long laners. Lone Druid, not a bad option. But Windrunner, Beastmaster, all options that they could look towards and would be pretty reasonable bans. I mean, Tide even still being in the pool, if you go against an Enigma, Black Hole, and a Tide Ravage, that could be very devastating. Then throw in the disables coming out from Shadow Shaman, and he'll be able to get those off pretty clean with the setup skills. And then Rubik on the back end of it with whatever he may have. Even if he picks up a Scream of Pain or, worst case scenario, a Sonic Wave. And it's a lot of team fight to go against. So we'll see if they want to take him out and kind of push them back into picking up that Beastmaster or Windrunner. And now MUFC likely to ban out a final support here. They could take out Enchantress as I hinted at before. That would pretty much take away all the jungle options. We have seen once in a while the jungle Doom, but I'm not sure it's been all as effective as people may have speculated a couple weeks ago when the patch was brand new. But it definitely works out if you're able to cover him pretty well in the early stages of the game. And it's going to be a ban on Viper. Oh, excuse me, Venomancer. And Venomancer taken out. That's going to leave the 5th ban for Flash Esports. We'll see if they go with the Tide here. Unless, if they want to pick up the Tide for themselves. It's going to be interesting. Tide does work pretty well with their lineup. Getting that extra minus armor. So they may risk it and leave them available in the pool. And maybe they know something about MUFC. Maybe MUFC likes to run an Enigma long lane solo. That's an option as well.
10 seconds remaining.
I have not seen MUFC play in a long time. Like I said before, a lot of the names on the team are familiar, but that doesn't mean anything as strategies as well as overall team synergies change over time. They ban out Sven. Interesting choice there. And now the pick for MUFC. And it looks like Flash thinks they wanted a really early game aggressive here. 2 out of the 3 bans being Chaos Knight and Sven. So along those lines, what else could MUFC pick up? Brewmaster is still in the pool. He's really strong early. They could also go for Dragon Knight if they're looking towards those carry roles. We have seen Rubik solo long lane once or twice before as well. So interested to see if that's an option on the table for MUFC. That would be a really tough solo against an Anti-Mage. And they're going to pick up the Windrunner, so the safe long laner. It's a good option. Windrunner can get more farm in that long lane than a lot of heroes can with the ability to use the power shots. She's also a lot more safe than the other options. So not a bad choice. And she still works well with the team and can output a good amount of damage if she does get that farm up moving towards the middle stages of the game. And now the 4th pick for Flash. Tide has to be one of their options. They want more stuns. It seems that's pretty evident between Queen of Pain, Bounty Hunter, and Anti-Mage. They have 1 mini stun, 2 mini stuns, but that's it. So they need a reliable stun, I believe. And they're going to pick up Leshrac. So it's not the most reliable stun in the Split Earth, but it is a stun that'll have pre-6, and they'll be able to combo that with a couple of the slows they have going on between Queen of Pain and between Bounty Hunter, Janata, as well as Shadow Strike, and then Lycan, the instant pick from MUFC. Interesting. Haven't seen Lycan all too much either, but I haven't seen that many games, so I really want to see what he's going to be able to do in this match. It's a lineup that works well with him. There's so many disables for MUFC. Lycan outputs a ton of damage once he gets that level 6 mark. If he has the farm on the back end of him, or if he doesn't, he really, once you get that wolf form, he's going to hit hard. And as levels go, he scales infinitely well. It's going to open up an option for really early Roche as well. So Flash has to be very careful where they pick their fights and
5 seconds.
Crystal Maiden.
everything along those lines. And here, Crystal Maiden's going to be the final pick. That is the reliable, slow, and reliable stun that I was referencing before that they could really use in that lineup. And this is another very aggressive lineup from Flash. Same can be said about MUFC. If both teams were to sit back, it's going to be tough. I mean, Lycan versus NMH is essentially the 40-plus minute outlook, and it's hard to say who would really do better in that one-on-one matchup. Oh, we have the little Halloween setup. Pretty nice. I want to thank anyone who's watching this. I am NYJohn, and this is my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/NYJohnTV. Please subscribe me here if you enjoyed the cast, and I'll be likely to be doing more of these replay casts of G-1 League. That's one I have the ticket to right now. I think they're very enjoyable matches. Unfortunately, some of the players have lagged, but I believe this is an all Asian affair, so it's fairly level in terms of the playing field, and no real advantage being dished out. And we're going to go over who's playing what now. So for Flash, we have Awesome playing the NMH. We have MLG22 on Leshrac. Heng KYKY playing Crystal Maiden. And Ewa on the Queen of Pain. That leaves DSF on Bounty Hunter. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing names. Of course, I mentioned before, some of these players, I have no idea who they are, and they could just be on aliases. Far be it for me to know. And for MUFC, we have Ken playing the Windrunner. In the middle lane, we have Oe on Rubik. Ling playing Enigma. That leaves Sharky on Lycan and Net on Shadow Shaman. So Lycan going to come to the bottom lane. It is a jungle Enigma. That does leave the lane set up pretty much what we had predicted. Crystal Maiden top, going to be joined by both Leshrac and NMH momentarily here. Awesome's going to check for the rune. It's actually bottom picked up by DSF. He's going to put some damage on top of Net as he pleases. A couple auto attacks here and there. Net does pick the invisibility level 1, so he's safe. And it is going to take him down pretty far, but he may be in trouble here as Lycan's coming from the backside. He's going to have to turn around and get the shackle on him. Otherwise, he may die here. One more hit's going to do the job. Oh no, he gets shackled in the middle right now. Sharky coming in for the backside. He's going to pile on the damage, but it's at first blood. Goes out to DSF on the Bounty Hunter, taking down Shadow Shaman from full health with just a haste rune. And Shadow Shaman, perhaps a little bit of misplay there. Lycan was late to the lane, but he stayed in the well to get his wolves out, so not a bad play necessarily. It's fairly typical for Lycan to want to cheat that mana in the early game and get the most out of it by getting the wolves up early. And perhaps just an overextension on Shadow Shaman. I mean, we don't see one-on-one clashes at the Rune all too often in competitive matches, but that one definitely turned out best for our dire team. Flash making a splash early on, and now Oe in the middle lane against Awa. And the tower taking a little bit of early damage here. This is going to be a matchup that usually favors Queen of Pain. As it stands, Rubik's pushing the lane, and he's doing a good job of getting the last hits, 4-1 against 3-2. But he needs to be careful. If he gets too far forward, Queen of Pain can definitely be aggressive on him. She may be looking to put a Shadow Strike now, and here it is. He does get a nice Fade Bolt off, though, so take away most of her damage, or a good chunk, so trading autos would not be effective for her at the moment. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Enigma up to level 2. Starts off with a pretty typical build with tangos and salves. Enough salves to keep him there for days. And top lane, nothing going on for this Windrunner. She's being fully barred out. Did manage to get over half a level of experience, but that is not going to be too good in comparison with the Bounty Hunter level 3 on the bottom lane. Almost level 4, and now he's playing this way back to his tower, so he will get his level 4 pretty early on here. And got to be careful to make sure these wolves come back, and they do in time, so they don't take any free tower damage. Oh, now rotation over smoke from the Crystal Maiden as well as Leshrac. Go ahead and put the slow on top of Oe, and now Queen of Pain jumps in as well. The Shadow Shark's going to slow him down enough, and down he goes. Awa picking up a kill on top of Rubik, and now the middle lane going in favor of Flash as well. Perhaps not the best circumstances for MUFC. Illusion Rune has been bottled by Queen of Pain now too, and Crystal Maiden going to set down a ward right on top of the Radiant ward. So they'll have full vision. They're going to rotate in behind here and perhaps go for another gank on the middle lane. And this is one of the disadvantages of Rubik being in the setting. He does not have that mobility that a lot of the heroes do. Instead, they're going to go back to the top lane under the tower. Awesome's trying to catch Ken. Ken has to pop off the wind run already. 10 seconds till that comes back. He'll have enough mana for when it comes. And Lust, he loses it all to Awesome with the auto attack. Instead, he throws out a shackle. It's a good shackle, but it's not enough. That's the splitter. Comes in on the back end of it. NYJ gets the kill on top of Windrunner. And that is going to be a 3-0 advantage in favor of Flash as we reach the 3-minute mark, averaging a kill a minute. This is not looking good for MUFC, despite the fact that they're getting good farm on this Lycan. Lycan is going to have to get involved in some capacity to try and pull this back for them. I mean, level 5 on Bounty Hunter, he's going to be working towards that level 6, and once he gets track, expect him to be even more mobile and make these losing lanes even that much more in advantage for his team as he punishes Rubik as well as potentially Windrunner. Back to the middle lane action, we see Queen of Pain only level 4 against Rubik's level 4. So not a real level advantage here. Queen of Pain will get level 5 a little bit before. She'll get that level 3 Scream and be able to punish Rubik a little bit, but it's not going to make all too much of a difference. You see Rubik backing off wisely. He doesn't want to tempt fate. And now the top lane, the invisibility will go towards the top river rather. And she'll be able to bottle that up and set up further gank attempts if she pleases. We'll see where she wants to go with that. Now, Windrunner going to poke her head out here. She is level 3. Going to have to Windrun out. Does not want to get caught by a Split Earth or that Crystal Nova. So wise play to get out of there as soon as possible. And now a nice sentry placed down. They're going to catch him off here. DSF walking in just as the sentry is placed. The Malefice is going to be able to slow him down, and down he goes. Bounty Hunter drops on the bottom lane. A combined kill for Sharky, Ling, and Net. The last hit goes to Shadow Shaman. Now they're going to be able to try and push this lane a little bit as well. The level on Shadow Shaman is level 3, so nowhere near getting those Serpent Wards quite yet, but they'll have Eidolons that are level 3, and a Black Hole is now available as well. Once that Soul Ring comes off cooldown, he'll be able to actually use it. So Bounty Hunter has to be careful not to poke his head out a little bit too far in this bottom lane. There's no other sentry available, though, so it would be a difficult kill for the Radiant team, but things going back a little bit in their advantage. But now MLG is going to go ahead and pop off the Edict. Awesome chasing down Ken, pushing him really far back. The Crystal Nova coming out as well, going for the Frostbite under the tower. This is a huge dive, and now Ken's going to go down for the second time on the top lane. The huge dive pays off. This tower is going to take a lot of damage as well in the back end of it. They do have Glyph available, the Radiant do, and the bottom tier 1 tower has been taken out by MUFC. Now they're working on the second tower in the bottom lane. DSF is here to try and slow down the pushing effort, but he can't really do much, if anything at all. He's going to go for the deny here, but he's going to put himself in harm's way. No, he decides against it, and the last hit goes to Enigma, who is now sitting on a nice sum of money at 1,100. Bounty Hunter pops for a second there to put some damage on top of Lycan, but it is not enough to scare the wolf out of his lane. Oh, now Queen of Pain coming in, and I flashed away just as it happened. She's going to get shackled, though, and Black Hold! Down goes Quap! A little bit of over-aggression jumping into the middle of them. Very overzealous and certainly overconfident as well, and she will be punished for that. But now Rubik with haste coming to the top lane, going to find a low-health NMH and zap him down with the Fade Bolt. And now MLG is going to be mistargeted. Oe looks like he wanted to put MLG up in the air and was unable to land that telekinesis on him. Got a creep instead, still stunned him a little bit, but could not withstand the damage coming out from that Edict, and therefore had to back off. Ends up being a 1-for-1 trade, but now we see kills are starting to be evened out at 4-3 in advantage for Flash, whereas they had started with a 3-0 kill advantage at the 3-minute mark, and that is going to make a world of difference as we continue on. And they have 2 towers to 1 tower in favor of MUFC as well. Now Sharky is able to finish off his Vlads. We'll see if they really want to push for this early Roche. It may be a poor decision, but having both towers down on this bottom lane is certainly going to make it more available than it normally would be, as there isn't as much map control coming out from the Dire team. When you take a look at this gold graph, only 1,500 in favor of the Radiant. A small lead, and 750 experience in favor of the Radiant as well. So both small leads, nothing too substantial for either team. And now Iwa has disconnected from the game. As I mentioned earlier, though, this is a replay cast, so I'm just going to fast forward through these pauses instead of sitting here waiting. And thank you for joining me. I'm NYJohn, and we fast forward a little bit too far and miss a little bit, but no action, so grateful for that. And after the resume, everything looking the same Oh, yeah, on the middle lane, trying to get his farm up there. Let's take a look at the last hits and denies once again. We have 48 for 4 on the Anti-Mage, 46 for 2 on Enigma. That leaves 40 for 4 on Bounty Hunter, 38 for 1 on Lycan. So Bounty Hunter and Anti-Mage getting farm, and this is not a good look for MUFC. Those are two heroes that certainly excel with farm, especially at the 8-minute mark, leading the pack. Oh, and now AWA in the middle lane once again going to be taking down. A brilliant telekinesis tosses him back, and they're able to chain it up with a shackle from Shadow Shaman to effectively cut him down. That's a second death on the Queen of Pain after having a good start in the lane, getting an advantage over Rubik as he dropped early on to a gank from Crystal Maiden with Leshrac, and he's able to bring that momentum back in his favor with a couple of kills here. Now we do see Crystal Maiden poking her head out. A Fade Bolt's going to take her down really low, and a Power Shot's going to finish her off. Now Shackle on DSF, who jumped into the middle of the pack. He gets shackled by the Windrunner as well. The double shackle. They're going to throw off a Lightning Bolt, but it's not enough. And down he goes, and then the Power Shot to finish off Leshrac as well. Ken's retreating. They're going to pop off the Sonic Wave. Almost take down Ken, but it's not enough. Will the Shadow Strike damage be enough to kill him? No, he'll be fine. That's only level 1 Shadow Strike. So ends up being a huge win for MUFC. They do lose Rubik in the process, but they're able to take down both Bounty Hunter, whose farm is looking great, and Leshrac, who is on the opposite end of that spectrum on full war duty, trying to do his most to keep whatever money he can make. Meanwhile, NMH in the top lane does have his treads up as well as Perseverance, so working towards Battle Fury as soon as possible. He's going to pull these creeps. It's an awkward timing. He may actually miss this pull. Yeah. Nope, he gets it. He blocks them back and gets it in the end. So, my apologies for criticizing his tactics. They worked. And you go ahead, and it's a nice way to farm. In the middle lane, Ken has joined the party. Ling pushing forward. He does have his mech up now. We see Ken, no real items on him. He had a tough time in that top lane. They're going to make some Eidolons as well as the Wolves and show their true pushing potential here as they move on to this bottom tier 1 tower. And the tower already being focused on. MLG is here as well as AWA. Both the heroes trying to stave off this aggression. They don't want to lose their third tower. And now Frostbite comes out on Sharky, but down goes Crystal Maiden, easily taken down by the Wolves. AWA forced to blink out of there as he's pulled back by the telekinesis. A shackle attempt comes out from Ken, but it is not good as it lands on a creep. And DSF pops in, gets one hit on OE, takes him down to 9 out of 10 health. It looks like he's sitting pretty fine. And now MUFC take down the tower and look like they want to keep going. They're not afraid of giving this free farm to NMH at the moment. They're going to let him do whatever he pleases and keep taking towers. They're going for the 4th tower of the game. Drop down the Serpent Wards for this one. That's almost going to lock it up as a guarantee with the glyph down as well. Are they going to fight under it? DSF comes forward. The Frostbite on Sharky. He's dropping really low, but they can't finish him off. He uses the ult to get out of there. And now Iwa in the middle of the fight. He's going to go down. DSF going to try and make it out. He goes invisible, and he is being pursued. They drop down a sentry as well to try and trick him into it, and he walks into a shackle from Rasta. Down he goes. Yes. A little bit preemptory for me, saying he was dead, but he did end up dying. And a great sentry placement there. And denied tower from OE, so just non-stop victory for MUFC throughout the past 3 minutes. Really taking a nice advantage there, getting 2 towers in the middle lane, denying the 1 tower being pushed by NMH. And now Awesome looks like he's going for this tracked Shadow Shaman, excuse me. And he's going to make his way over there, try and jump through. No, he decides against it and is going to back off. 1,600 gold to make. He is getting closer towards that Battle Fury, but still a long ways off from being able to finish it. 1,200 gold is going to be difficult to obtain as the map really starts to shrink for this dire team without these 4 towers. This is going to open up a Roche attempt, and they have to be very careful. They do have a ward down here, so that should help them be more alert, see if the Radiant team is going to push for it without getting kills first, but it's going to be a lot easier on the back end of kills, so I suspect that's what we'll probably see. Queen of Pain has the courier deliver out her bottle. She's ferrying it a little bit. I'm really surprised she has no other items. This is 12-minute farm, treads, and a bottle. Not looking good for her. She only has 200 gold in the bank as well. This is really poor farm in the Queen of Pain. When we say Net in the middle lane, he has a Bracer and Arcane Boots and a Magic Wand on a support Shadow Shaman. He has more farm than this Queen of Pain has. Let's check the net worth. Queen of Pain is actually lower than Rasta, Rubik, Windrunner, the whole Radiant team. She now passes Rasta by a little bit, but that is very disheartening, and that's going to be regained by that tower kill. So really not looking good for them. With Queen of Pain down that far, we see still a good amount of money coming out for NMH as well as Bounty Hunter. Nothing to really be concerned about. Oh, in the middle lane, they're going to go for aggression yet again, and now the Shackle on AWA is going to pull him into a black hole in the back end of it. That's 2 more kills for MUFC as they get Leshrek and Queen of Pain. Easy. And now on the top lane, it looks like DSF is going to try and put whatever damage he can on top of Sharky, but Sharky turns around and is just going to man mode him, get whatever autos he can, and now the Shuriken does toss off. Sharky does not pop the ultimate. Come back middle, they have a mech up. Enigma also picks up a gem, so this is no home for Bounty Hunter. He's going to have a really tough time trying to sneak in here and take full advantage of that invisibility that is so crucial to Bounty Hunter. And they're going to go towards the Roche Pit, or they're going to actually go for it. And Wolves come in, and they put the minus armor out with the Medallion of Courage, recently picked up by Lycan. And this is going to be a true Roche attempt. And Roche has already dropped down to around half health. This is going to be a really easy effort for them. I mean, I don't think there's anything the Dire can do. They're not in position for it. They have a couple of heroes rotating in, but Roche is going to be dead by the time they get here. And down he goes, and now Oi's going to find... Oh, Crystal Maiden just dropped! Power shot, Scream of Pain, Telekinesis, and Fade Bolt. The poor support cannot withstand that at all. And here comes the middle lane push from MUFC. Serpent Wards are dropped. Glyph is not available for the Dire team. This tower already dropping below half health. In fact, it's going to be down momentarily here. There it goes. And now it looks like an invisibility pop by Queen of Pain. She's going to try and get in here and get a brilliant ult off. She gets one off, but it's pretty much mitigated by the mech popped off afterwards. And now Telekinesis thrown up on the Leshrek. He's zapped down in a moment. DSF puts a track on Sharky, but that's not going to do all too much as he's in his Lycan form. And now DSF going to continue to just try and pile on whatever damage he can, but he gets shackled up, and the damage is too much. Down goes Bounty Hunter. The zap takes out Crystalman as well. And the Rax is dead. This game could be over. Ether Shock. I always forget the name of that one. They're going to rotate towards the top lane and take out the final outer base tower. And perhaps just keep marching towards the Raxes. Enigma's going to have a black hole up in 67 seconds, so that should make this game pretty easy for them. Windrunner doesn't even have substantial farm unless the courier's going to be bringing her something. Force Staff, Force Staff, Force Staff. A lot of Force Staffs coming out in a moment here. That's 3 on the courier. So one's probably going to go to Shadow Shaman, 1-2 Rubik, and 1-2 Windrunner. And I mean, they're just leagues ahead in terms of the items, in terms of everything. We could take a look at the item setups here. Everyone coming into their second item for the most part, minus the supports. Meanwhile, on the Dire team, we see Battle Fury is finished up on enemies, but the drop-off after that, there's only Tranquils on Leshrek. DSF, despite good farm, he doesn't have much going on. He has drums. And then Queen of Pain is forced to go for a Null Talisman as she really can't get any substantial farm going. And it's just a bad sight to see if you're rooting for Flash. They have a lot to try and do to work their way back into this game. I want to thank anyone who's watching on my YouTube channel. I'm NYJohn. This is a G1 League game, and now Leshrek in trouble in the middle lane as he gets himself force-staffed in. And down he goes. Another kill, killing spree for Lycan, and a great shackle comes out from Ken. This is going to be 2 kills. Telekinesis on top of Queen of Pain, and the screen to take her down. Insult to injury coming out from Rubik, and that is going to be it. 3 kills there in a moment's instance, and now Black Hole going to be popped on DSF. That's going to be enough to take him down as well. Power shot coming in, and these power shots have been brilliant. Coming from the edge on every single attempt. Just well played and well done by Ken. A player that is very familiar to those of you that have been Dota fans for quite some time now. And the Rax on the bottom being taken down in a moment's instance. They can rotate towards the top. There's nothing that Flash can do. Expect GG called, and there it is. Crystal Maiden calls the GG. And that is going to be it for the game 1 of MUFC versus Flash. Thank you for watching again. Please subscribe my channel down below. I'm NYJohn. And maybe, yeah, I'll bring game 2. I'll cast that after this one and upload it after it as well. So be sure to check out the other video, wherever it may be, on my YouTube channel. Game 2 of this G-1 League game. And we have a little bit of aggression in the well. What is going on? Awesome is destroyed. And that's about it for this game. As 4 players have disconnected, 4 Flash. So once again, thank you for watching. Be sure to check out all the other videos on my channel and subscribe me here. If you have any questions, comments, or whatever, you can go ahead and post under the video. Peace.